Hello everybody, welcome to class 3 in guiding 2. I'm Mark Battle and this is The Point. Well, we're talking about pro-social behavior. How we get along with others. How we learn to get along with others. And that's the big point, isn't it? It's not something you're born with. It's something you're taught. It comes through your interactions with them. It's how you yourself are pro-social with your mates, that you're working with, your colleagues that you're working with, your interactions with the parents. Those little eyes are watching us. We're the mentors, we're the guides, and they're going to imitate us. And they're going to imitate us and then internalize that and then have their own pro-social reactions to situations. So you as a model is really, really important. I'll tell you a funny story. I worked in a program where it was a tough program. It was a school-age program in Toronto, and it was in the Jamaican community. The kids came from very interesting households, very interesting community. It wasn't the most pro-social community that they were existing in. There was a lot of gang stuff going on. There was a lot of violence in the community. And so myself, I hired I didn't hire an EC. I was running the program. I didn't hire an EC. I hired a child and youth worker, someone who could understand the emotional needs of the kids, because pro-social behavior had to be a big part of this program for me, for the kids. I was barely surviving because of all the violence that was happening within the old program amongst the kids. So we're starting to get things settled in, and we're starting to do a lot of opportunities and experiences for kids to be able to work together, help each other, learn, feel pro-social, even though the outside community wasn't that pro-social. But we had one kid that was being isolated. His name was Kingsley. And Kingsley was a big guy. He was maybe about 8 years of age, and he weighed more than me. He was a big guy. And they were making fun of his weight, just ruthlessly bullying him around that. And I myself and Erica, who had hired, we would spend a lot of time working with him. Like, you can't treat Kingsley like that. And we're trying to create these opportunities where Kingsley could come in, and it would break my heart. We'd focus on this and focus on this and focus on this. Well, one day, we went to, we had a lot of excursions out downtown Toronto. One day, took them to a park that had a wading pool. It was summer. If you've ever been to Toronto in the summertime, it is hot. So it was summertime. We go, let's just go to the wading pool all day. We'll bring our lunch down there. We'll just play in the water and just be cool. So we get down there, and all the kids get down in the bathing suits, and they're all splashing around, having a great old time. Another daycare came. And they were doing the same thing, going to the wading pool. Well, as I was sitting there with Erica, we're talking. Everything's going good. We had a bunch of kids. Everything's going really nice. Hey, things are going really nice. And then a brouhaha erupts in the wading pool. Great big fist fight, fisticuffs, boom, boom, boom. And it was my group of kids from my school-age program beating the crap out of the kids from the other school-age program that came to the wading pool. So Eric and I had to get up. The caregivers from that center had to get up. And we're split up, and it was violent. It was a gang fight. So, anyways, pull them aside, and get them aside. And everybody's mad at me and Erica because our kids sort of started this fight, I guess. Daycare people were really mad at us and saw that we were some sort of gang or something like that. I don't know how they saw us, but they were not happy and they left. So I brought the group together, and after it all cooled down, I went, what is going on? What is going on? How come you're fighting with those kids? What's going on? And the ringleader of the fight, he said, they were making fun of Kingsley. They were calling him fat and all kinds of terrible names, so we stood up for Kingsley, just like you and Erica said that we should, and we went and we beat them up. I paused, and I went, well, I don't like the fighting. Fighting isn't pro-social. Fighting is not how you get along. You can use your words. There's other ways to convey that you're standing up for Kingsley, but punching people isn't one of them. But on the other hand, thank you for standing up for Kingsley. And we use that incident as the model for the rest of our times together. So when we go back to the daycare center and they'd start chipping in on Kingsley, we'd remind them, hey, remember how you stood up for Kingsley and he's a part of our group? And one day the one kid said, you know why we fought him? We fought him because only we can make fun of Kingsley. He's our Kingsley. He's part of our group. Nobody else gets to. So we had to work a little bit more on the pro-social behaviors. That it's nice that Kingsley is part of the group, but let's find other ways of including him. It was interesting though. Kingsley rose. Kingsley saw himself a little bit differently in the group. He could almost take the teasing as or the bullying more as teasing, something more good-natured, which it kind of did become, but we had to nip it in the bud a bit and show that there's other ways to tease and bring Kingsley in without reverting to some of the old put-downs. So pro-social can be a very complicated thing. Pro-social is all about how we're going to work together, how we're going to live together within this community, and how we're going to bring kindness, an act of kindness, just like what happened to Kingsley, an act of kindness. So pro-social is taught. Pro-social is all about you being kind. Pro-social is all about you being positive and a positive person in the kid's life. Pro-social is all about helping a child discover their worth and their place in a community. Because my friends, that is the point.